When was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap with Colleen Biggs. And of course, I am so excited to be here this week with another guest. And this, let me tell you, this podcast, the reason why I called it Take the Leap, and maybe some of you have heard me say that, but now that we're in episode 24, you might have forgotten. I had a previous podcast that I ran called Speak Up to Lead Up. So it was for Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. We had done live radio show with that. We had done 165 episodes with that. And I rebranded to Take the Leap with Colleen Biggs because we were utilizing stories in our last podcast of women that had, created success. And, but we never really dove into, what were the adversities that you faced? What were the issues that you ran into? How did you break through those, whether they were mindset blocks, whether they were, health blocks. And so this podcast is all about how someone took the leap, what they did to get there, what they faced, what the fears were, how they broke through them, because we would just be joking if we, and really fooling ourselves if we didn't admit that we struggle with our mindset. And this is something that we must work on every single day. And that is why this podcast is here, so that you can play these episodes that will inspire you to keep going, to hold you accountable, to do the things in your life and take control over your life and put the effort in that's needed for you to design the life that you desire, because you're either allowing life to happen to you or for you. And for you means you're creating the life of, what you want in your life. So if you want a healthier life, then you need to pay attention to your intake of calories, the type of food you're eating, the medications you're taking. And today we're going to dive into, are your medications killing you? And I have Dr. Melissa Balazan with us today. And she is a pharmacist. She's got over 52,000 clinical hours, and she's going to dive into the medications that you're taking. So stay tuned for that. And before we get to Melissa, I want to hop over and first thank our sponsor, Trisha Peridot with Turning Leaves Recovery. Addictions, negative attachments, and habits that hold us hostage are all seated in a pressure to perform and a reliance on something outside of ourselves to provide peace, joy, comfort, relief, value, validity, and worthiness. Exactly what I was just talking about. Trisha Peridot has combined her journey with addictions that span more than 30 years of her life with a 25 plus year recovery journey and an in-depth degree studies to create an intimate, interactive experience designed to be focused on life going forward, transforming emotional intelligence, expanding consciousness, and generating a healthy lifestyle for any recovery journey without creating overwhelm. So view her coaching courses, bundled programs, and more at www.turningleavesrecovery.com, or you can contact her on her direct line at 805-710-2513. All right, now let's go ahead and dive into, are your medications killing you? I have Dr. Melissa Balazan with us today. She's a #1 best-selling author, an international speaker, a TV show host and Short Talks TV star, has a passion for vitality in others, working with her clients who are frustrated with only treating the symptoms and the desire to uncover the root cause. As a consultant and a concierge pharmacist, as I love that the best, she serves as an advocate for individuals' health and medicine needs. She combines Eastern and Western medication. So Melissa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Colleen, for having me. It's an honor to be here. I'm so excited about what we're going to talk about today.
Tell me why Tell me why it excites you about this topic and subject specifically.
It excites me because I think I love helping people become aware of what medications are doing to them. There's so many things that we don't know. Medicine is good. I'm not saying medicine is bad. Medicine is very good. And there's so many things that we've done in the past that we remember going to the medicine man or the medicine woman when we needed something. We'd go to that. And I don't know, I just picture an Aborigine. I don't know why, but I picture that, and then they're making things that help you feel better. And because they're trying to relieve your symptoms. Mm-hmm. And we've come a long way in being able to relieve symptoms, to treat conditions, to eliminate conditions. And that excites me that we can do that. What I don't like is just piling pills on pills on pills on pills. Mm-hmm. And we've become that. I have to tell you this because I was at my niece's this last weekend and I was watching cartoons with her, and there was this little cartoon, and they had, the doll was sick. So they had put little dots on, and the doll was sick. And so the doctor came in and looked at him and wrote out a prescription for this doll. I'm like, wow, they're teaching them so young. This is a little cartoon for my one-year-old niece.
We're brainwashing them early.
I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right. The part of it where they said, go to bed and rest, I agreed with that. But I'm like, you don't just write a prescription right away. Yeah. And I think that's the message. That's part of the message today is not just about those pills.
Right. It's the question. So, why do you have a headache, right? People go right to Tylenol or Advil or ibuprofen. Has anyone ever stopped to ask themselves the question, why do I have this headache? Is it lack of water? Maybe I'm dehydrated. That would be the root cause, right? Is it lack of caffeine? Because I drink caffeine every single day of my life. And for the last 3 days, I didn't drink it. And I've had a headache for 3 days, right? I mean, tell me, when you go to the doctor and I'm going to, just so everyone is very aware who's watching this on Facebook or listening to this podcast, I'm not going to hold back today because why? Oh, I don't know. I don't have to, because I can say what I want to say when I want to say it and how I want to say it. I don't really believe in medications. I believe that if your guts are hanging out of you, or you're super sick, or something's going on and you need surgery, something removed from your body, right? If you need something done, then absolutely going to a surgeon and going into the doctor and doing that is necessary. I'm not saying that that everything should be Eastern medication. However, there are so many supplements out there that have beneficial health benefits that do a lot of the same things that other medications would do. And it's interesting that here you are as a pharmacist in front of us, and you are a drug dealer in a sense. I'm joking when I say that, but you deal drugs. Like you're not prescribing them, but you're the ones dispensing them, right? You're the Pez dispenser of the drugs. And I know that because you work now, you want to be, more around people, and you work part-time in a concierge pharmacy that is a very boutique-y, that you see pills that people are being prescribed all the time, that they're adverse reactions to another pill. They don't need it. That pill causes high blood pressure. So now they're on a high blood pressure pill, which causes headaches. Now they're on this medication, which causes the shortness of breath. And now they're on this medication. So have you seen that people just are on medication after medication, treating the symptom from the previous medication?
Yes, absolutely. It happens all the time. And I talk to clients and patients, and I had one the other day, and she told me, she says, I'm dizzy. She said, I'm experiencing dizziness. We were just doing a review of her stuff. And she goes, I went to the doctor and he just prescribed me another pill. And so that's the gold standard, is just to give you another medication. And what we did is we got down to it and figured out that her dizziness was being caused by, it was actually an inner ear equilibrium issue. And she didn't want to take the medication. So she didn't. And she went to some physical therapy, and she was able to correct that dizziness without a medication. but she was cognitive enough and wanted to not just take another pill.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to get to the root cause of the problem. And so many people don't always think like that. They just go, okay, well, let's take another pill and get on with my day, because we're so busy, we're stressed out. And we just think popping a pill is going to be easier. Popping that Advil for that headache is going to be easier. But when we actually look at it and get down to the root cause of the problem and peel back what's unnecessary, we can fix those underlying issues, and you can be happier and you can be healthier and not be reliant on medications or supplementation. Because I do feel there's a time and a place for both Eastern and Western medicine.
Right.
There are a lot of supplements out there that can alter our body's processes, similar to the way that the medications alter them. There is a time and a place. So if you come in and you have high blood pressure, and if you're 200 over 140, it is a time for you to be on medication, because it is life threatening. And then we work our way down to get you off the medication while we're fixing other things.
Yeah.
We're finding out that root cause. We're keeping you safe during that time. But I don't want you to think that you're going to be on medication for life, because there's things that we can do for that in that instance. But we also, if you come in the other realm, so you come in and you have 140 over 90 blood pressure. That is high now, because they keep lowering the guidelines. And you come in and your doctor says, okay, well, we're going to start you on medication. Well, at 140 over 90, it's not really, you don't have to start on medication just yet. If you're willing to work on your lifestyle, pay attention to what you're putting in your mouth, do some movement activity, do some other things, look at your stress levels, then you will probably be able to get that down within the month, down to a safe level where your physician doesn't have to give you on medication.
Yeah. Yeah. Because with those medications, I don't know if any of you have listened to commercials, but with those medications on the commercials, they talk for longer than the actual ad about all the adverse reactions that are going to happen. I don't ever watch regular TV anymore. And when I was in Utah visiting my cousins over Memorial Day, there was a commercial that came on. And I haven't seen a commercial in years because I don't have cable or anything like that. And so when the commercial came on, it was about a medication, like an allergy medication. And I sat, and I had never realized this before, but I'm so attuned to it now, especially after meeting you and getting to know you and really digging in more and taking control of my health. It went on for like a minute of all of the possibilities of what could go wrong. And I just remember looking around the room, and I looked at one of my cousins and I said, who would take that pill? The benefits of what they're saying it could do for you is nothing compared to all the adverse reactions that you could have. Like, the adverse reactions outweighed the benefits. Why would anyone take that? And they're like, wow, yeah, I never really looked at it that way. And that's all I heard. It's almost like that's all the TV was speaking to me.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing is, when I talk to people about their medications or their supplements, we look at the risk benefit. We look at that and figure out, okay, what is the risk of you not taking this medication or not taking this supplement over the benefit, or vice versa? What's the risk of you taking it?
Yeah.
Because there's so many things. I mean, so let me throw you out a statistics, because I do love my statistics.
Oh yeah.
4.5 billion prescriptions were filled in the United States, just the US. Now that was a couple of years ago. So that was 2020 stats. I haven't gotten 2021, but of that 2.1 million, now 4.5 billion, 2.1 million produce an adverse effect. That's quite a large number.
It's like 50% or whatever that was. So you're probably going to have to take another pill. I'll use an example. Anyone that's ever had surgery, anyone that's ever been put up, that's the easiest one to think of. You've been put on a pain pill, right? Because you go through surgery. That's something that is very painful, and they give you a pain pill. And I'm thinking of when I had my knee surgery and broke my tibia bone and my ACL and meniscus and all that. And I remember they gave me oxycodone. Well, I only took it once. And then after that, I never took it again because I felt like I was in a coma. But when you're on any pain pills, they automatically give you something else for constipation, because pain pills cause constipation and probably 4 other things I can't remember. And it's so interesting to me because you can't just get one prescription. You have to get like 3 prescriptions for the one pill that you're taking. And I want everyone to wake up and hear what we're saying right now. I don't take any medications. I take supplements. And there are a lot of supplements out there that can help with the same things that, like Advil or ibuprofen. So let's talk about some examples, Melissa, of and don't just go to the over the counter at your local pharmacy and grab whatever supplement, because Melissa's going to tell you right now that when she's at the pharmacy, she doesn't even recommend that anyone buy a supplement in the pharmacy, because generally those are mass commercial supplied supplements, and they're going to have the lowest percentage of whatever they're claiming to be in them, and they're not going to be pure or full spectrum or broad spectrum or whatever you call that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk about supplements for someone listening that's on some medications. Let's talk about some common daily, pills that people take. Advil, ibuprofen, Tylenol is probably the most general. What causes pain in the body, first of all? What causes pain?
Pain is caused by inflammation.
Period. It really is. It's inflammation. What causes inflammation, right? And then how do we get inflammation down?
Right. So inflammation is caused because your body is trying to fight off that condition, that problem. So it inflames itself. So it's trying to fix itself. Our bodies are very smart. Mm-hmm. So it inflames because it's trying to fix ourselves. Well, what happens is that that inflammation, so it's like blowing up a balloon, and that balloon gets bigger and bigger, and it's stretching, but consider that stretching is pushing on whatever tissue or bone or muscle is around there, and then it causes pain. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that inflammation causes pain. And so what we want to do is we want to make that go away. Well, there's a lot of different things that we can do to make inflammation go away. And I'm going to tell you, first of all, no drugs, no supplements. Pain and inflammation can often be relieved by either hot or cold. So a heating pad or an ice pack will often relieve inflammation. Now, depending upon where you're at, where the pain is, mm-hmm. But those 2 things, and those, yes, coming from a pharmacist, I learned a lot about non-pharmaceutical things mm-hmm. in school. They teach us that. Mm-hmm. And people come in the pharmacy and they ask a pharmacist, because we're very accessible, and we give them these solutions because we've learned these things over the years. But those are the 2 most, I would say, I recommend that a lot. Pain, or like icing and heat. Now, if mm-hmm. it's swollen, you're going to want to ice it. Mm-hmm. Now, there's protocols, or there's limitations. So you don't want to do this. You don't want to just sit down with the ice pack for hours and hours. No. You don't want to do the same thing with a heating pad. No. You want to make sure that it's like 20 minutes, and then you take mm-hmm. it off. Heat or ice, 20 minutes. You mm-hmm. can even alternate heat and ice, depending upon where it's at.
I always remember the word rice. Rest, yep. Ice, compression, elevate.
Yep. And that's very
for something that's swollen, or if you hurt yourself, or rice is I just always remember that word, rice.
Yes. And I learned that in school as well. Mm-hmm. And those are things that, if it's swollen, so those right. are like if you fall down, an injury, those are very good for extremity injuries. So right. your legs, your knees, your ankles, elbows, wrists, things, mm-hmm. because you can elevate them, and then you can apply compression with a wrap or something if you need to. So yeah, those are things that we learn. And I love those acronyms because I remember different things.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would be supplements that we know reduce inflammation? What would be some of those? And we're not prescribing anything to anyone. I just want you to be educated on alternate opportunities, because I have been educated on these over the past several years. And I did not know that certain things like vitamin C and at a high milligram rate will reduce inflammation. I didn't know that. I always thought that vitamin C was good for preventing colds and all the stuff that our moms told us, right, when we were growing up or whatever they were taught. It is our responsibility to learn for our own health what these are. So what are a couple of those things,
So the
Melissa?
best ones for inflammation now is going to be turmeric. Turmeric is going to be the best thing out there to reduce your inflammation. Now, turmeric needs a little active ingredient with it. So in order to get the best benefit from turmeric, you're going to need to get one that has black pepper in it, because the black pepper helps to activate that curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric. And you can buy turmeric. You can buy turmeric as a spice, and that will help as well. If you're putting turmeric on your food, sometimes that will help reduce inflammation. It depends upon how inflamed you are as to how much you're going to need.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need more than you can stomach, so you might want to get it in a pill form. But as Colleen said earlier, let's just talk quickly about supplements, because quality supplementation. So when a medication is made, it has to go through checks and balances. And the FDA in the United States puts it through checks and balances. So it is determined that it's in a good quality facility. They're testing their ingredients. And what happens with supplements, the FDA has no oversight over that. And people think, oh, that's great because the government doesn't have any oversight. There's pros and cons to that. So that's good and that's bad, because what can happen is that there's no quality control. You can get a supplement that says it has 10 milligrams on the bottle, and it may or may not. It may be produced in a good quality facility. It may not. So things when you're looking for supplementation is you do want to look for that good quality. Check to see, are they testing their products? Are they having a third party? Unbiased, has no benefit if it actually shows what's in there or doesn't show what's in there. Those are two big key things when you're looking for a supplementation to a supplement company. And I can tell you, you're probably going to have to find a practitioner who can order that for you. I have ways to ship it directly to your house. We just send you a link and it goes there. But being able to pick it up off the shelf, these big box places, you're not going to get good quality. If you were to test it,
I'm just going to share with you right now, if you're buying your supplements at Costco, it's not the place to get them.
It's not the place to get it, because it's just definitely.
And I know some people out there right now are so pissed off at what I'm saying, and that's okay. You can make it whatever comment you want to make. I'm just going by the research that I've done, and the physicians and the health practitioners and the pharmacists that I have in my pocket that I've spoken to, and they're not good quality.
And so, just we did a study. There was a study done. This was probiotics that they actually pulled off the shelf at a big box place. And one out of the 15 that they pulled actually had close to what it said it did. But they're not, it's not good.
Yeah.
And so let's get back to inflammation. So just so you know, ginger is another common one. And if you realize some of these things are spices we use with food, ginger is very good for inflammation, especially of the stomach. So when we get an upset stomach, our stomach's kind of inflamed, ginger will calm your stomach. If you notice that ginger is recommended if you have nausea and vomiting, because it's going to help soothe your stomach. Ginger snaps, things like that. So I
drink ginger tea every day.
Ginger tea.
Yeah.
Those are very good things to help reduce that inflammation.
Yeah. I drink ginger tea every day because I know it helps with digestion. So, occasionally if I'm eating, I know when I eat gluten that it irritates my stomach. If I eat any dairy at all, that always irritates my stomach. So, think of it, this isn't oh my gosh, I have to change everything in my, medicine cabinet of how I do things. No, you don't. And this isn't a show where we are telling you that you need to switch everything that you're doing. This is about awareness. This is about awareness of what are you putting in your body? What is causing side effects? What is not doing well for you? What do you need to change? And that's why I bring experts like Dr. Melissa Balazan on here, because she's had 52,000 clinical hours in medicine, y'all. I love my friends that are doctors, but they only get like a semester or two or something like that in medicine studies. And I'm just going to be honest about that. That's not what they're there for, right? Your physician, when you go to your physician, so you couldn't go to Dr. Melissa for her to be able to act as your physician, right? And the same thing, you can't go to your physician and expect him to know what a pharmacist knows. But this is about bringing awareness to you to understand that you're responsible for your health. You're responsible for what you put in your body. You're responsible for doing the research to say, hey, I have something wrong with my lower back. It's bugging me. What can I do to fix it? My son just came to us, and I'm so glad he made this decision, because I've been fighting him on this for a couple of years. And he has lower back issues. He's been in car accidents and all these bulging discs. And they're like, you have to get surgery. And I said, please don't get surgery. You can go do yoga. Your aunt does yoga. She said she could fix your back if you would just do yoga with her, if you would do physical therapy. And he just kind of ignored it, right? He dealt with the pain, took pills to get through the pain. And I was like, you know what? He's going to have to figure it out on his own, because, I've said my piece, and then you just kind of move on as a parent. And his wife finally said to him, will you just try physical therapy? Just try it before you decide to do the surgery, because the surgery is, a permanent thing. And he did. And he did physical therapy, and he is so happy with the results of going through stretching. He was showing us, like, look how far I can stretch my back, and it's helped my swing in golf, and blah, 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 blah. All of this, all from just physical therapy, being guided on movement and stretches that has now taken the pain away from his lower back, when every other surgeon and doctor out there told him he needed surgery,
right,
to relieve the pain and for him to be able to function normal. And he didn't need it. That's just one example. And yes, that's the awareness that we're bringing here today, because, Melissa, I feel like Dr. Melissa's up against kind of this, this society and culture that popping pills is fast and easy. Like she said, fast food, fast and easy. I watched Footloose, Dirty Dancing, and another show way back from like the 90s. Was that the early 90s or something? No. And every single person in those movies were skinny. Every person, by the way, in all of those movies were little. And I looked at Robert and I said, why do you think that was? I go, how much fast food was available back then? Like McDonald's was, got started several years before that, but there just wasn't a lot of easy access to food. But with those horrible benefits of access to easy food, that we can just always have food, even though our body doesn't even need it or crave it, we just can always have it. On the opposite side of that, there's easy access to supplements and easy access to turmeric with black pepper in it. I buy it at Trader Joe's and drink a shot every morning. I don't even have to make it myself. Where in the past, 20 years ago, you would have to concoct that yourself, right? Mm-hmm. So Dr. Melissa, talk to us a little bit about your special offer that you have and how people can reach out to you, because in my book, and you guys, this is my third party validation here, because Dr. Melissa has helped me through a lot of things that a physician could not assist me through. She knew exactly what the problem was, what was happening with my body, told me exactly what to do to get through what I needed to get through, and the physician couldn't figure it out. So I'm sharing that as kind of a testimony for her, so that if you're on a medication, if you're struggling with something like a lower back pain or something going on in your body, that you reach out to her, because medicine management is one of her like gifts that she does, right? She can manage your medicine and help you with what you need to do to reduce taking so many pills or whatever it may be. But she has a special offer for us today too.
Yes. So the special offer I have, you can go to drmelissabalizan.com/podcast. And what I have for you is there is a set of questions 5 questions that you should ask your healthcare professional
Mm.
before starting a medication or a supplement, because there's a lot of things that you may not think about that go into, is it going to interact with my other medications, my other supplements, my food, what I'm drinking? There's a lot of things that take place that you may not realize. And so I've put together this set of questions for you, and I want you to take it and utilize it. Utilize it for those things that you're already taking. Go through and ask your healthcare professional, your physician or your pharmacist, and say, hey, what is this doing for me?
Mm-hmm.
Is it helping me? Is it not helping me? There's a lot of things that we don't pay attention to. And I talk to people that they're taking supplements and they continue to take the supplements. And I ask them, what is it doing for you? How do you know if it's helped you? Well, those are things that you have to figure out.
Have you taken any blood tests to see that all of that fish oil that you're taking is working for you? Is it turned your levels around,
Exactly.
So true. Yeah,
exactly. Those are things we don't think about.
Right.
So these are just a few things to get you on the right track.
I feel like Dr. Melissa is on an uphill battle with what she's doing, because I do feel like we've just been brainwashed into just take it because it's easy. And, that's why magic diets and magic diet pills and all these things are the crave, right? And $1 trillion business, because no one wants to do the work. They don't want to go run. They don't want to go work out. They don't want to watch what they eat. They don't want to, eat vegetables every day. They're like, gross, I don't want to do that. I want to eat pizza and burgers and do my whole deal. Yet they want to lose the weight, right? So when we take responsibility, then you're going to be able to decide for yourself that I am in charge of my health. And Dr. Melissa Balazan is there as your concierge pharmacist to assist you through that process. So if you know of someone that are taking a lot of medications, maybe it's your mother or your father, your aging parents, she works with a lot of aging parents, but she's got a TV show on the Win-Win Network. We're going to put those links in here for you guys to go check out all the education that she provides. I know they stream on Roku and plenty of other places. You can connect with her on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. She's got videos out on YouTube. So it's a great place to be educated. But I always recommend going to her page. And I think it's askdrmelissa.net or something like that. What is the one where they can go on your page and book some time with you?
Yes, askdrmelissa.net if you want, if you want to book some time right away.
Yeah. Yeah. And I highly recommend that you do that, because then you can kind of get that one-on-one with her to decide what your next steps are. I don't even have a healthcare provider, and they ask me all the time anywhere I go, who is your main physician? I'm like, I don't have one. I have a pharmacist. I have a health practitioner. I have all of these other people that I work with that are alternative to me, considered alternative, because, Dr. Melissa Balazan is going to give me the advice that I need based on the direct medications, what's happening in my body, what I'm already taking. And I've seen too many people. In fact, someone in my class one time when I was teaching a physical fitness class, he had to go to the hospital because one doctor prescribed one medication, another prescribed another. They were picked up at different pharmacies, so there was no double check on that. And the second pill almost killed him because it had an adverse reaction to the first one. And he wound up in the emergency room and almost lost his life. And he trusted the physicians. And I'm not saying it's the physician's fault. I'm just saying that he didn't know to ask the questions about, this is what I'm taking. Are you sure I can take this other pill? So it's our responsibility. So before we leave today, I just want to remind all of you that you're the only you that's ever been. You're the only you that's ever going to be. There's no doctor, no physician, no other person out there that is going to be able to navigate your health other than you. You're the one responsible for what goes in your body at all times. So remember that and be educated on what you need to be educated on so your medications aren't killing you. And with that, we will leave you for today and say thank you for joining us. And until next time, be you and be strong. Take care. Bye-bye for now.
We hope you enjoyed our show today, as our guests shared their secrets on designing their life by taking the necessary leaps to expand their influence and attract the right people and clients into their lives. To start these easy steps for yourself, be sure to visit www.colleenbiggs.net/freebies to download the 7 ways to increase your exposure today.